complex conjugates and division of complex numbers. If Z is A plus BI, it is a given complex number where A and B are real numbers and I is the square root of -1, like we've defined previously. Then the complex number Z star or Z bar, so this is just two different notations for the same thing. It depends on the textbook. You will see that some textbooks use the star, other textbooks will use the bar. So that's why I've put in both. And look at the difference between the two from Z to Z bar or Z star. The plus BI becomes negative BI. And this is called the complex conjugate of Z. So let's write down the complex conjugates of the two following examples. So in A, Z star will then be 3 minus 2i. Make sure that it's only the imaginary part which the sign changes, where the sign changes, right? Not the real part. Like for instance in B, here Z star will be minus 5i and we keep it -6, minus 6. Right, so take note of that. Only the sign of the imaginary part changes. So then, let's see how we divide complex numbers. It's given to us that Z is 4 plus I over 2 minus I. Now remember the I is the square root of -1. And whenever we have a square root in the denominator, we want to rationalize the denominator. In order for us to do that in complex numbers, we are going to multiply by the complex conjugate of the denominator. And we have to multiply it in the numerator as well. So from this we'll have 4 plus I times 2 plus I divided by 2 minus I times 2 plus I. So let's simplify this then. In the numerator we will have 8, that's the 4 times 2, plus 4 times I, which is 4i, then I times 2, that's 2i, and then I times I, which is now -1, right? Remember, I squared is equal to -1. This is then divided by, so in the denominator, can you see that we have a difference of 2 squares? So this will simplify to 4 minus I squared. And if I simplify this further, in the numerator I will get 7 plus 6i. And in the denominator it will be 4 plus 1. And this finally simplifies to 7 over 5 plus 6 over 5i. So let's see, what is the real part? What is the imaginary part? Let's take it apart. So the real part of this Z is then 7 over 5. The imaginary part, the im of Z, is 6 over 5. So take note that I don't include the I, it's only the coefficient of I. So finally I can rewrite Z star of this whole thing as 7 over 5 minus 6 over 5i.